Yo, what's going on, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome back to a brand new Locals feature match. Here we are in round 1 for the week from January 20th Locals, the first Locals of the year that ended up recording. And we've got a pretty interesting matchup, considering that Maze of Millennia was the new set, new side set was legal for this tournament. I think it just came out like a few days prior. And obviously from that set, you've got things like Bonfire, you've got things like Transaction Rollback, two very, very strong cards coming to the game, and obviously one of those cards being Transaction Rollback, giving the Labrynth deck a huge boost alongside a few other random choice decks, which you may or may not see later on in this tournament. But we got Spright Melffy, a deck we also haven't seen in a long time. You know, kind of making its way back onto the channel too, which is kind of cool. I try to make it an effort this Locals to have as little Fire King and Rescue Ace as humanly possible, which I think I did a pretty good job at. I think we only have one Fire King deck, and it's not even like a true Fire King deck. It's like an engine within like a Tri-Brigade deck. So yeah, I got you guys. I mean, like, I personally just could not stand to commentate over another Rescue Ace deck. I was losing my mind. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Not good. So yeah, Spright and Melffy end board there. They got Melffy of the Forest. They've got Red. They've got Fenrir. They've got Caddy with a Penny setup. You know, to be able to synchro into something like Herald of the Arclight. And they're gonna activate Arius in hand. To start things off here, during the main phase, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, summon a Labrynth monster, or set a normal trap from your hand. That will just get outright negated, and now they're going to go ahead and use Stovey Torby in hand, discarding itself to go ahead and set a Labrynth card from the deck. Labrynth spell or trap, I believe, since it can grab the field spell. Yeah, Labrynth spell or trap from your hand or deck. So they will go ahead and grab a copy of Big Welcome. And they've also got Labrynth in hand, which I gotta say is one of the worst named cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! History. That's just my opinion. Labrynth. Like, awful card name. I don't know why I'm just bringing this up now, but either way, they'll just set another card alongside the Big Welcome, and pass turn, Melffy of the Forest will start by activating its effect. Go ahead and search, and then Fenrir will go ahead and grab another card, another copy of itself. And I need to see if, yeah, okay, so it's Penny that's the tuner. But now they're going to normal summon Yamatako Orochi. This card on the field can be treated as a level 8 monster when used for a synchro summon. A synchro monster that uses this card as material gains its effect based on its level. 8 or lower gains a turn attack, 9 or higher. If this card attacks a defense monster, inflict piercing battle damage. So it's treated as a level 8 if used for a synchro. And that's pretty good considering they've got level 2s on field, which can go into Baron to Fleur, which is kind of interesting. So they're probably going to pick up on that after taking a gander at the effect and fire off this Icy D, this Ice Dragon's Prison. And they're going to go ahead and banish Gigantic and Red, clearing the way there, getting rid of a monster negate. And now a couple chain links activating here. Stovey Torby, field spell, and since they're activating something in response, I believe they also get to bring back Arius, and they're also going to chain Big Welcome here in response to what looked like the Caddy, and they do have Ash for Big Welcome. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster except during the damage step, or if an opponent's monster targets this card for attack, you can return this card to the hand, then you can add one beast monster from your deck to your hand. So they get to search there, and then they can bring out the Penny. If a face-up beast monster control was returned to the hand this turn, except itself, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro monster using this card you control, only this card you control, and Melffy monsters in your hand. And looks like they're not gonna go ahead and use that effect there. And they're just going to continue on with normal Spright plays, going for starter, bringing out blue, taking 11, and then they're going to go ahead and link 2 into SP Little Knight, SP Little Knight will take care of the field spell. No attacking directly this turn, though. Special Summon Jet. I mean, that's a fair trade, I guess. Gonna go ahead and add a copy of Spright Smashers, a card I also have not seen in a long time. A lot of throwbacks here with this Melffy Spright deck. And looking to possibly go for a Gigantic. I'm sure there's some reason they didn't actually end up synchroing there. I probably, they do have a synchro. I did see one synchro there in the extra deck. And I'm pretty sure it's just Herald. But it also might be Baron, just because of that Yamatako card. I could see a possible Baron play. Fenrir attacks, banishes the Arius, and then just clean up the rest of the field. And of course, again, it cannot attack directly because they use the on-summon effect of SP Little Knight. And Caddy hitting the board there during the end phase. I just want to read this. Yeah, during your end phase, you can special summon this card from your hand. Just a free special summon. It looks like that will be enough for the Melffy Spright deck to take the dub in game one. Quick reminder, guys, check out Imperium Duelist at the link below. They still have some of their power deck boxes available. Chainsaw Man themed deck box. Really, really nice looking deck box available for sale on their site. Definitely check it out. And if you want to pick one up, feel free to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And if you want to buy something off of TCG Player, any Bonfires transaction rollbacks, don't forget to use my TCG Player affiliate link when you do. You support the channel at no extra cost to you, just, you know, by buying cards like you normally would on TCG Player. Just check the link, do your shopping as normal, and your support is greatly appreciated. So, Coup Clock helping to set up a welcome, a regular welcome Labrynth. That's going to get hit with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and then Chandraglier pitching a copy of Transaction Rollback. The first time we are seeing it on the channel. This card is absolutely bonkers, bonkers, bonkers. And, yeah, we'll read the effect here once they go ahead and resolve it. Coup Clock getting added back to the hand. So, yeah, now they can activate Transaction Rollback, which the graveyard effect is really the most important thing. You can banish this card from your graveyard and pay half your life points, then target one normal trap in your graveyard except Transaction Rollback. This effect becomes that card's activation effect. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. So they just get to copy that welcome Labrynth again and use it again. Since it's not welcome Labrynth they're using, it's just Transaction Rollback, just copying the effect. So you asked my welcome, I'll just do it again. Kind of ridiculous. Of course, you need the discard outlet to get in the graveyard, but this deck has two really good discard outlets in the form of Chandraglier and the Stovey Torby. And you can also play things like Super Poly, right? Just free discard fodder to get that Thang in the graveyard. Just pretty broken. Of course, you guys probably know other decks using things like Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal, sending that to the graveyard to do some shenanigans. Special Fenrir here for our Melffy Spright player. Foolish Burial, dumping Angler, bringing out 2 copies of Beaver. Special summoning Red to the field, getting that monster negate in play. And now it looks like they're going to go ahead and use the Fenny to go ahead and search out another copy of itself. Not to be confused with the Melffy Fenny, but the Fenny. The Fenny. Fenrir. And, no surprise here, looking at going for a rank 2 play. But first, we're going to normal summon Bell. Now, this threatens a Baron play. They do have that clutch level 3 tuner to go with the Fenrir here if they wanted to establish a Baron. So this could force something here on the Labrynth side, and it looks like it will. Firing off a copy of Welcome Labrynth to go ahead and special summon from the hand or the deck. And we'll see what they decide to go for here. Looks like hard to tell here. I was looking at Stovey Torby, but now going for the Labrynth, the Lady Labrynth of the Silver Castle. And then they're going to activate Big Welcome. And then they're going to chain Lady to go ahead and set another trap. And they will attempt to respond with Red to negate. That will go through. So they won't get to set another trap from the deck. which is pretty huge here, considering the amount of different things they could choose to set at this point. You know, floodgates and all. Things like D-barrier, especially against an Ixies base deck. And then they're going to summon Shandrag, and they'll bounce back the lady, and now Fenrir is going to go ahead and activate its effect on resolution to go ahead and attempt to banish something face down. And then they're also going to get, as Chainlink 2, the lovely effect to pop from hand or field, and then they're going to chain the Shandrag leader to go ahead and set a big welcome from the deck. It always surprised me just how much this deck can actually do on the opponent's turn. And also getting Ariana there to draw. They will pop the Fenrir. And I assume Fenrir should have banished something face down there, but I'm not sure. Regardless, going to go ahead and link 2 into a copy of Spright. And they're going to go ahead and dump Angler. And Angler will go ahead and special summon the last Beaver in the deck. That's fine, though. That gets them into Gigantic, which is at 32 now. Gigantic effect getting ashed. A little unfortunate there. Battle phase, they'll attack over the lady. Or the lovely, rather. And then, yeah, really not much they can do here except for set up for a Zeus. So they'll go ahead and slap a Downard on the Gigantic, which didn't resolve. So, of course, they're not 2 locked. So they can go Downard into Zeus. And then detaching 2 here to wipe the field, reset everything. And they're just going to go ahead and pass turn there. Where at this point, this is where the Labrynth deck can definitely take hold of this game. Rather simplified game state, Arius effect in hand. And that is going to go ahead and bring out a silver. And then they're going to go ahead and use the Big Welcome Engrave to attempt to bounce the Zeus. And they'll just chain the Zeus. And then a bunch of effects engrave here. Shandrag Leader. And Welcome to reset itself. Shandrag Leader going back to the hand. They've got a copy of Ash Blossom in hand. They've got Bell in hand too. I was going to say, it sucks that they had to kind of commit a normal summon of a Bell there, but it was definitely worth it considering the fact they also had another copy of Bell in their hand anyways. But of course, can only shut down the Big Welcome and not regular Welcome. So they'll just normal summon the Shandrag Leader. And just battle phase, attack for a smidgen of damage. And they'll just go ahead and pass turn. So they can't use the welcome anyways, so it was just set, but they'll fire it off now. Looking at that bell and be like, man, I really wish I could use this here, but unfortunately you cannot. Summoning out the Ariana. Ariana effect to go ahead and search for a copy of silver. Offering a cut there. Special summon that Fenrir now. Activating effect to go ahead and grab the last copy of Fenrir in the deck. Allowing for a decent grind game here, just having that extra body in case all goes wrong. They've got that way to, that's just obviously one of the best things about Fenrir, of course. Search another copy of itself at the bare minimum. If your board gets cleared, you've got a way to, you know, kind of crack back, if you will. It's already in hand. Or free discard fodder. It looks like they're just going to go right to battle phase here. Banish the Shandrag Leader face down and attack over the area. And get that Shandrag Leader out of circulation for the time being. Of course, I don't know how many copies they play. Yeah. So, yeah, I assume they tried to talents there, but I don't think anything activated. At least during the main phase that allowed them to do that. And then they're just going to summon Lady. And in the end phase, I believe, in pass turn. Lady at 2,900. And they'll just swing in for a wee bit of damage. Well, I guess 2,900 damage. And they'll go ahead and use the trap. Bounce back the Lady. trigger some more effects here of Welcome and Chandragleer. Resetting the trap, adding that back to hand, and then Chandragleer effect discarding itself and transaction rollback. Yeah, and then summoning Lady again there. So just giving them 3 more copies of either Big Welcome or Welcome at a pretty hefty cost of half your life points, but definitely worth it at least. So setting Big Welcome, adding back Ku-Clock, activating Ku-Clock, activating Welcome, activating Lady. So you're going to allow them to go ahead and set anything from the deck that they need. Which, I think that's Terrors of the Underroot. And they're going to go ahead and summon out Ariana. And then Ariana, of course, to go ahead and search out for none other than the Labrynth. Giving additional effects to their traps. We'll go ahead and activate that. And just pass turn. Special summoning that last copy of Fenrir, putting in a lot of work right now. Don't know if it's going to be enough, though. And nothing on the summon, but we're going to go ahead and fire off Big Welcome, activate Bell, and then they get Aria since they did activate something in response. So that is just going to get to hit the board for free. And now Fenrir will take out the field spell on Resolution on a new chain. And looks like they might want to chain transaction rollback here. Nope, they will not at this point. They'll just let that go through. And then battle phase, Fenrir attacking over the Ariana for a smidgen of damage there. Only about 800. Now firing off another transaction rollback here, paying half life points again. Always live when you're paying half life points. That's one of the crazy things about it. It's not like a fixed life point amount. You can always pay half. And gonna allow them to reuse Big Welcome, look like. And they'll summon out the Lovely. Get to reset, add back, and the Spright player saying, you know what, I've seen enough. Let's just go ahead and go into game 3, where we will, of course, see the Spright Melffy deck go first. And we'll see what kind of board they can put up. I mean, I feel like a big enough combo deck like this should be able just to outright put up a big enough board just to stop the deck completely dead. If you put up enough negates, it should just do the trick, right? But they do find an imperm there on, I think that was blue. But still have a way to get into Gigantic. And that is going to go ahead and bring out a red. And normal summon Beaver. The Gigantic is actually pretty huge in this particular matchup, gotta say. Keeping a lot of their cards kind of turned off, I would say. Yeah. I mean, they can still use like furniture and stuff, but they can't bring out things like Lovely or Silver. Can't bring out Ariana. And yep, going into the Melffy of the Forest. And that's going to go ahead and search out the Caddy. And they've got a copy of Double Cross set. Special Summon Caddy. And looks like they have another copy of Starter in hand. So they'll just go ahead and pass turn. And we'll see how they decide to go ahead and play this out here. Not a super crazy end board as it stands. But it might just be enough. We'll see. They've got transaction rollback in hand. And 2 other traps. So it looks like they're just going to go ahead and set 3 and pass turn. Not doing a whole lot here. And it looks like our Melffy Spright player has picked up Super Poly for turn. Don't know how crazy that's going to be in this particular matchup, but just being able to delete a monster off the field and they can't respond to it Doesn't target, of course, which can actually kind of come up in this particular matchup with some targeting protection that the Labrynth deck does have. Could be valuable. So, and it's also very tempting at this point just to like put everything in attack and try to swing in for lots of damage, but of course they have more than enough ways to block here. Speaking of which, there is Daruma Cannon getting activated to go ahead and book everything, and anything that doesn't get booked is getting sent, so that includes that Spright. So, yep, everything getting set face down, Spright leaving the board, and Lady gonna go ahead and get to special summon itself now. And then activate Big Welcome, show me Ash Blossom, he's got it. Huge, huge Ash Blossom there. And I believe nothing's stopping. I have to read Daruma Cannon. I was gonna say, I don't believe there's anything stopping them from turning everything back up. It's not like that was it Drowning Mirror Force? Not Drowning Mirror Force. Quaking Mirror Force. Yeah, change as many monsters on the field as possible to face down defense position. Then, if either player controls the face-up monster, they must send all other ones to the graveyard. It doesn't say anything about like they can't be flip face-up. So, you didn't do anything with those monsters this turn. Did not change positions. Did not attack with them. Did not just summon them this turn. So, can just freely flip them back up there. And continuing to combo here. SP Little Knight taking out one of the back rows. Looks to be a transaction rollback. Pretty good snipe there. And now just looking to close out the game here. Jet's going to go ahead and a copy of Smashers. And overlaying both Jet and Blue into a copy of the number 2 Ninja Shadow Mosquito. And just going to go ahead and attack and give it a hallucination counter. And I assume that they're doing that just to like either set up a Zeus or something. But either way, Spright Melffy will take the match 2-1 there. Last but not least, a big shout out goes to our current Divine level channel members who are Pony Start, Cadillac Screen, Misfit, H8 Saber, and Robin's Assistant. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and very generous support of the channel.